Welcome to another video. My name is Abby and I help you to consciously create your life by practical spirituality. Today we're going to be talking about how self-abandonment is blocking you from what you want. Before we get into that juicy topic, I want to let you know that if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, I'm still offering my donation-based payment system, meaning that there's a $30 minimum payment. If that's what you got, great. If you want to give more, you can do it in the tip option. Either way, we'll work together to identify your specific situation so that you can remove whatever is blocking you and you can start manifesting and consciously creating the life you want to live. So if any of that resonates, go ahead and click the link below. Make sure in the notes section to leave your Skype ID. That's how I get a hold of you. So let's jump into this video. Pulling out all the stops here, back to my whiteboard, because I just feel like visually I could tell you with my words still I'm blue in the face, but the visual component helps so much. So why is it? For one, I've already released a video about what abandonment is, what self-abandonment is. So if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, go ahead and watch that video as well. It's going to give you another layer so that you just understand, because guess why you might be you might not be aware of this? Because no one's talking about it. It's one of the biggest things that people do in an effort to manifest what they're wanting to create the life they want to get the connection that they want to. And yet it's crickets out there, right? So I'm here to help as best I can because I went through this. I am a black belt, an advanced degree, high level of experience of self-abandonment. The beautiful thing about my experience is not only did I learn about myself and learn how to come into myself and how I was giving away my power and how I was participating in a dynamic I didn't want, and how it was keeping me or blocking me from what I really wanted. But the best part is all of those painful experiences that I was able to turn into wisdom and grow from, I'm able now to share with you so that you can help yourself by learning these and applying them. So let's get into it. Why is self-abandonment blocking you from what you want? Well, in this situation, we're going to be talking about relationships, but you can just as easily put in a job or an amount of money, right? And you'll understand more as we get into it. But what I want you to know is that the reason we self-abandon, okay, is that you see something outside of you that's going to make you feel better. It's going to make you feel whole. It's going to make you feel complete. That with this connection, so this is you and this is the other person. This can be also platonic. It doesn't have to be romantic, but more than likely, it's going to be applied that way if you're watching this video, and that's okay, whatever way. But so you see this connection and it's like, okay, maybe you see this person is really attractive and wow, they like you, or if you could get them to like you, or if you could get them to commit to you, then that would essentially make you see yourself as better or enough, right? So growing up, if you were not validated as a child for who you are, so if no one validated and say, hey, you know what, you're great, you're amazing, so happy, you're alive, you're wonderful, no matter what you did, you mess up, you don't get good grades, whatever the thing, you're wonderful as you are, period, no exception, no condition. If you did not receive that information, which is true, by the way, so it never coming to you is like something getting stuck in the mail. It's like, this is something you should have received and it never got to you because you are whole and complete alone as you are. No matter what you're doing, you're whole and complete. You're worthy because you are. That's the equation that no one talks about too. So if you weren't validated for who you are, you will seek through false mechanisms who you need to be, what you need to do, what you need to sacrifice in order to get validation. You'll seek it through an outside mechanism and you'll feel like you have to do certain things, be a certain way, abandon parts of you or suppress them or, not share everything, because if you did share that, then this person might leave. So anytime also you're getting to that, if I'm really me, if I share what I really think, then they might leave. Anytime there's an action based on they might leave, that fear of abandonment, that's right now, just be aware right now, wow, okay, there's a huge impulse most likely when that fear comes up that they're going to leave. I want to do something so they'll stay. That, it's like, circle it, because that's a huge part of probably where you're self-abandoning potentially. And why is it keeping you from what you want? Well, let's look into it, okay? So we know a little bit about, okay, self-abandoning means that I feel like that the person outside of me, oh my gosh, what am I doing? What am I doing? Rewind. We can't start this video the right way without a little decent. I don't know why that was so hard, but it like left an indent in my thumb. Doing the hard work, heavy lifting for you guys. Anyway, okay. So you want a connection. God, it's so hard to write like this, by the way. That is atrocious, but we're going to go with it. That looks like an M, but you know, we're just going to, there we go. Maybe the worst handwriting I've ever put forth here, but you get my point. You want connection, right? You're thinking that who you are and what you are is it's not enough. So you're going to need to get it from this person. It's not bad to connect as long as you're not connecting so that you feel better, so that you feel whole and complete, so you feel enough. Anytime it's basically filling the rest of the jar, if you will, for you and your self-worth, that's when we've got to say, boom, red flag. What's going on here? So it could look like this. Okay. You maybe have an opinion, right? Somebody's saying something and they're doing something and it's not okay with you. Maybe you're in a relationship or you're talking to somebody and they chat it up and you go and you have a great time and you're like, oh, this is cool. And then all of a sudden you don't hear from them and they kind of go, you don't know what's happening. And maybe it's a couple weeks. Then they text you again. You're like, oh, okay. Woof, they're back. Okay. Anytime you're concerned with this person, so much so that you're anxious because you're afraid they left, they abandoned you, did you do something wrong? Should you not have said that thing? Maybe, you should have agreed with them, whatever the thing. You're anxious, distrusting, suspicious, or envious. Anytime those things are happening, that is jealousy. Even though I know we're taught in modern culture that jealousy is about if only there's another person. Jealousy is anytime you're afraid of abandonment, and you're suspicious, distrusting, anxious, or envious. You're comparing, right? So when you do that, you leave yourself. Okay, that's self-abandonment. Maybe if I could be this other person, right? So say this person right here, 2 weeks later, they text you. And you're like, oh, yeah, hey, how's it going? That's fine. You're basically creating this version of you that is okay with that. Even though for you that hurt you or you didn't feel appreciated, you didn't feel safe and secure in that. And rather than communicating that to them and saying like, hey, I like you and I'd like to see where this goes. And, I don't feel good about things and safe and secure in this connection. When that happens, consistent, reliable communication is important, not constant, but consistent, right? Consistency is important, especially if you have an anxious attachment, which I do, high anxiously attached. So I had to know myself and know what I needed to communicate to keep myself safe. So if you're like, oh yeah, that's cool. No, that's fine. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, you want to meet up? Okay, let's go have a great time. Okay, 2 more weeks. Oh, it's a month. Okay. And you're just thinking thoughts of, what did I not, should I have done something different? Do they like me? Oh my gosh, checking social media. Are they on a date? Is that I think that's a person I've seen in a picture before. All of those, leaving yourself because you're more concerned about what they're doing than how you're feeling, and that their actions is the only thing that'll make you feel better. So when they do come back, if they come back and you like agree that was okay for you, you leave yourself and you're basically creating this false you, right? It's like this facade that in grad school, this guy said facade one time in a presentation. And since then, I always am like, don't say the wrong, wait, which one's the right one? So anyway, facade. I'm gonna vote there. Anyway, you're creating this false version of yourself so that this person will accept you, so that you can connect, okay? However, since you left yourself, and then I'm gonna use the other marker here, keep our colors organized. This person isn't like, yeah, I'm gonna connect with this person. Who is connecting with you? You've left you, so you don't even have yourself. This person's not connecting with you. They're connecting with this false sense of you. So you're seeing them, he, she, they, well, whoever it is, connect with this person who's not really you, when really you're wanting this person to connect with you. Right? And you're not a bad person or doing anything wrong to do this. That was a survival mechanism. You didn't create this to bring suffering to you. You did this probably when you were growing up. Were your caregivers so preoccupied with other things that you needed to constantly attune, constantly emotionally check in to see what they were doing so that you could know if you're safe or not? Specifically, if it was a violent household, that literally, this system of checking in with other people, who did you need to be in order to get approval, in order to stay safe? So this, in an early childhood environment, makes sense. That's how you got your needs met. And at the time, you were powerless because you were a child. You couldn't pack your bags at 5 years old and hit the road and try it on your own, right? You had to basically make do in this environment. However, if you're still using this survival skill emotionally to function in life, it's going to cause a lot of suffering because it just needs some updating. You got to start realizing, oh, okay, when I say something's okay when it's not, and that could look a lot of different ways. Anytime you don't listen to yourself and you say, yeah, I'm going to pretend with you that that's cool, you take away this opportunity that they can actually connect with you because you're not showing who you really are. So that's already keeping you from what you want. You want that connection, but it's impossible because this version of you is in the picture. It doesn't make you wrong or bad. However, it does not give you the potential to get you what you want, which is a genuine, real, honest connection. So every time you're abandoning yourself that way, every time this person, right? So maybe you're dating and this person is, I don't know, checking their phone. Maybe you're out and there's another person there, guy or girl, whatever. And you're like, oh my gosh, is he, she, are they looking at them? Oh my gosh, oh God, they're so much hotter than me. Or God, they're so much more successful than me. So you're putting yourself down and this other person up. And what did we say was a subcategory of jealousy? Envy, comparison. So you're saying no to you and yes to that other person. Okay, so that's also a form of self-abandonment. And that also, because you're putting yourself down, you're leaving yourself, not necessarily this one, this is the fault's you, but because you're so preoccupied with what's going over there, you make yourself inferior. You say no to you and yes to them. And again, self-abandonment goes in a lot of different categories. Another one is basically not being honest with yourself of what you really want. Oh yeah, I just like to hook up, or it's just casual. That's fine with me. I didn't really want anything serious. When deep inside, you want this, but you're afraid. And that's okay, because probably early on in your career of connection, openness and vulnerability might have been unsafe in your early on environment growing up. And now you're equating that as unsafe. So not listening to what you need and keeping this arm's distance, even though you want connection. And again, you're not doing anything bad. However, this is not going to get you what you want. Because if you say, no, I'm good here, right? Or you keep chasing emotionally unavailable people, you're going back to this and saying, yeah, that's good with me. Emotional unavailability is great. When I get them to see that I'm worth it, when I get them to choose me, then I will feel good. Then I'll get that validation that I've been craving probably since I was 5, 6 years old. That is not being honest with you. When you're chasing an emotionally unavailable person, a lot of times you're not emotionally available to yourself. Again, rejecting the self or abandoning the self so that you're a person or in a place that you'll be accepted, that you'll get validation, because you don't feel like you can get it on your own. So the more you start to just identify this in your life, the more you can start becoming aware and conscious in that moment and make a choice to stay with you, which is, you know what? I don't like this. This does not make me feel secure. This does not make me feel safe to share myself because I feel unsteady that this person's going to be there. How can I communicate what I need? Not blaming, but sharing. Hey, I really like to spend time with you and this feels really fun and I think we might have a shot at something here. It feels special. it's important to me, and I really value consistency and reliability. So it's really important for me that people say and do, it's in alignment, and they can stay in their integrity. And if something comes up, obviously life, understandable, and communicating that so that I know what's going on and I feel like I'm a part of this as well, right? All different kinds of ways. When you get clear on what you really want, you'll be able to share that, and guess what happens? You remove these blocks and you bring in the potential and the possibility that you can connect, because you remove this is an option, right? Woo! This is like in Back to the Future when that picture disappears. So you're bringing all this energy between the two people, which is what you want. So when you move away from self-abandonment, you give yourself the ability to start tapping in to the connections that you're truly wanting. The false mechanisms came, we understand why, from childhood, from not being validated for who you are, but you are worth it. You are good enough. You always have been. The insufficient part of it all was the emotional environment you grew up in. Not blaming your parents, not villainizing them, whatever your caregiver situation was, that was not enough for you to grow and feel safe emotionally. As you start tapping into you've always been worth it and you weren't the problem, you weren't the issue, the more you'll start seeing your true worth, which is your worth love, your worth connection. That was never in question. It was just that belief, that perspective. You can use your adult mind to reevaluate that and bring yourself into the situations that you deserve. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, click the like. If you haven't done so already, join this community. We'd love to have you. Hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video, I think you're going to like this one as well. I love y'all, and I'll see you on the next one.